is 1310 News, Ottawa.
It's Wednesday, September 30th. Good morning. I'm Andrew Boyle. Right now in Ottawa, some light rain, 11 degrees, and here is the 1310 News top story. They may be a little bleary-eyed this morning. MPs in the House of Commons were sitting, either virtually or in person, until just after 3 o'clock. Debate ended on a bill authorizing new pandemic and benefits for workers. Bill C-4 did pass unanimously, so now it moves on to the Senate today. It is scheduled to sit and deal quickly with that legislation at that House as well. Liberals are indicating that another emergency bill to extend rent relief for businesses may be coming soon. Now, provincially, with COVID-19, health officials are releasing the latest modeling numbers. That is expected to start in the next few minutes. Democratic Party says it's had its single best hour of fundraising last night following the first debate between candidate Joe Biden and American President Donald Trump. Trump attacked Biden with angry and personal jabs in what many political observers around the world are calling a chaotic event. Biden responded with terms like clown to describe Trump, even telling him to shut up at one point. The two traded insults in the event called a disaster and a disgrace to the American people.
Down in national polling by as many as 10 points and trailing in key battleground states, President Trump needed to change the trajectory of the race during last night's debate. It may have been his last big chance to do that. But aides and close advisors to the president tell ABC News it was an awful night for Mr. Trump. One saying that maybe the president's performance made his base happy, but that doesn't move the needle in the race against Joe Biden. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
And now your forecast with 1310 News meteorologist Jill Taylor.
A gusty wind and periods of rain today, the guaranteed high 17 degrees. Tonight, cloudy, showers in 9, and tomorrow, the 1st of October, mainly cloudy, chance of showers in 17. That's the guaranteed high today, 17.
And right now in Ottawa, we do have light rain. It's 11 degrees. 1310 News time, 10:03. Real gross domestic product grew by 3% in July, but that was down from growth of 6.5% in June.
Statistics Canada notes that all 20 industrial sectors that it tracks posted increases in July, with agriculture, utilities, finance, insurance, and real estate recouping losses suffered since the start of the pandemic. Says the economy, though, is still running about 6% below its output level in February. StatsCan also says growth likely continued in August, but at a slower pace, as it provided a preliminary estimate of a 1% climb in GDP for that month. Don Kelly, the Canadian Press.
Rogers, a parent company of this radio station, raised close to $100,000 to support Orange Shirt Day. Rogers collaborated with an Ojibwe artist, Patrick Hunter, designing a special orange T-shirt to honor residential school survivors. Around 5,000 of these were sold. Now, according to organizers, Orange Shirt Day also serves as an opportunity to set the stage for anti-racism and anti-bullying policies for the school year. An unusual traffic stop along the 401 this morning. OPP pulled over a car in the pouring rain, traveling at 158. So, stunt driving, that was infraction number 1. As the officer approached the car, he sees a bong in the lap of the driver. Infraction number 2. The 19-year-old is a G2 driver from Toronto, a university student who's had his license suspended now, his car impounded, and he will also have to appear in court. I'm Andrew Boyle, 1310 News. For news anytime, follow up online at ottawamatters.com.
It's your time to talk back on the Rob Snow Show. Have your say at 613-750-1310.
Who won the debate? Come on, people. Give me your opinion. 750-1310, 750-1310, 613-750-1310. Who won? Who lost? The first of what is supposed to be 3 U.S. presidential debates. What did you make of it all? Did you make it through it all? Why don't we start right there? 750-1310, 750-1310. There are other things happening. We don't have to talk about this, but is there a bigger story than whatever that was last night? Did you manage to make it through the entire thing? The whole 90 minutes and change? David watched the whole thing. I did not, I will admit it. That's a first for me. It's a first for me because it's a U.S. presidential debate. I mean, usually that's must-see TV for me. I listened to it on the radio last night while trying to fall asleep. But by 10 after 10, I had had enough. And 10 after 10, I am not usually up that late. I'm early to bed, early to rise. 10 after 10, I had heard enough. I couldn't take anymore. Honest to goodness, I could not take it anymore, and I turned it off. In my own opinion, it was an awful spectacle. I feel, I have friends of mine live in the United States. My mom lives in the United States. I feel bad for our American friends. I really do. But this is the best they can offer the world. Trump wouldn't shut up. Biden wasn't much better. And Kate and I agreed on this. Kate from Consumer Strategies, Kate Harrison. Biden's no angel, okay? He was more than willing to climb into the gutter and hurl the insults. And Chris Wallace, I have a lot of respect for Chris Wallace. I like Chris Wallace. And Chris Wallace is a straight shooter from Fox News. And he's taken a lot of heat this morning for losing control of the entire affair, almost from the get-go. But I am willing to cut him some slack. I think he had an impossible task. And he's not running for office. I'm sure I know I've watched my fair share. We've all watched a lot of debates in our time, right? Have you ever seen anything like that in your life, though? Basically a screaming match between two old men. You know those guys from the Muppet Show, David? They sit in the balcony of the Muppet Show. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of them, If they were debating, if one was a Republican and one was a Democrat, then maybe that's an insult to the Muppet Show. At least those guys were funny. I think the only winners coming out of that last night were those lucky enough who didn't bother tuning in. Had better things to do. Maybe they went to bed early. I'm so jealous. God, I wish. And then we had to be in early this morning, right, to prepare for our interview with Dr. X's. So we deserve an afternoon nap, Dave. What do you think as soon as we get home?
That's on the agenda for me, pal.
Sure. Okay. Diane, good morning. You're on 1310 News.
Good morning, Rob. No winners. Biden didn't seem like he had dementia. He memorized some great zingers. Now, Biden, you didn't mention this morning, or other people didn't. Biden wants to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, and he wants his friends there to all give Brazil $20 billion. Maybe he needs to help India and China with their coal plants as well. The other thing that Biden wants to do is he wants to spend $2 trillion to convert everything to electricity. So, by the way, the Democrats are asking for $3 trillion right now, and Republicans are asking for $2 trillion that hasn't passed. Wallace, I think he did the best he could.
Yeah. There were times when you had to feel for the guy, right, Diane?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Now, he did ask Biden a really good question. He said, did you call any Democrats in the state or the mayor of Portland or where all of these riots are? And, of course, Biden said he didn't call any of those people to end the riots or the chaos in those cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Diane, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because you called a few days ago, and you said you were kind of down that this was the best America had to offer, right? You're not a fan of either, are you really?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No.
It's kind of like a repeat of 4 years ago, I think, for people like you and me. I used to think like Trump and Hillary. Like, my God, holy cow, that's the best you can do. Okay, thank you, Diane. I think we're on the same page there. Thank you. The 750-1310, 750-1310. Brian, good morning.
Hey, Rob.
What did you think of that last night?
Well, the first was a four-letter word starting with S, so the second is show.
Yes. So you're like Dana Bash on CNN. You agree with her because she actually said that on CNN last night.
Well, I really agree with the Clinton News Network, but I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Right. Okay.
And, it sort of reminded me of our debate. People yelling at each other, talking over each other. And U.S. presidential debate used to be a polite
A rather dignified affair, Brian.
It was supposed to be kind of a, one show, but the U.S. ones used to be dignified. And I'm with you. Personally, I think Trump is repulsive. However, it's just like that.
Well, Brian, you're cracking up there, buddy. We're losing you. Brian. Sorry, Brian. We lost you there. Mark in Ottawa South. Mark, good morning.
Thank you, Ron.
What did you think? You're a U.S. political junkie there. Go ahead.
Well, there seemed to be a dramatic difference in the energy level of the two men. Biden seemed very pale. He seemed to have less than half of Trump's energy. And I believe it limited his performance.
Okay.
Now, Trump was his awful self, vile, reprehensible, but he was full of energy, vigor, speed, forcefulness, and assertiveness. And unfortunately, that can make him undeservedly come across as a stronger person and more decisive than Biden. The same way that often the goon hockey player is a bigger star and a bigger crowd pleaser than the skilled hockey player. I don't believe that both men were equally responsible for the awful tone. I believe Trump set that tone, and he was always going to. And Biden was forced to respond to it, but he didn't have the energy to do so as forcefully as he otherwise could have. I hope he would turn in the kind of debate he did in 2012 when he debated Paul Ryan when he was vice president. I kind of wish...
that was cordial by comparison, wasn't it?
But he was faster and sharper and more alert.
Right.
And responded quicker. He just didn't seem to have the energy to do that. And I kind of wish Kamala Harris had been on the stage against Trump. She would have really showed him up.
Okay. Did anybody win? It sounds like you think Trump won, by your assessment.
I don't.
You don't?
But he could appear to be by being louder than the other guy as opposed to being more meritorious. This election is going to hang on two things that won't show up in the polls. Number one, the same as last 2016. People who don't like Trump but won't actually do the one thing that can stop him, go to the polls and vote for the Democratic candidate. The next day they'll be out protesting, if Trump wins, not my president, which is why I have more contempt for them than I do for anyone who goes to the polls and votes for Trump. The second thing is mail-in ballots. Trump is hoping that as many Democrats as possible will use them. It's not that they're fraudulent or fake. The problem is that they're prone to errors which are harder to correct, and more of them get discounted. Simple stuff like you print your name in the signature block instead of signing it. You see, when you do that in a poll, the poll worker warns you not to do that when she hands you the ballot. But if you do it, you can correct it with her because you're there in front of her. She can see that you are you and you can identify yourself. If that ballot comes in by mail, that can't happen, so the thing gets discounted. And so I do believe, as I say, Trump, he wants as many Democrats as possible to vote by mail while denouncing the process as fraud.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for your call. Yeah, we're talking about the debate last night, if you can call it a debate. Shudder to think they're going to put Americans through that 2 more times. But I want your take on it. Who won? Who lost? What did you make of it? Does anybody come out a winner? This is the Rob Snow Show Talkback Hour. Phone line for you, 750-1310. You're on Rogers TV and 1310 News.
A lot has changed, and you've adapted, but behind the mask, you're the same person. At Orm's Furniture, we get it. Beneath our masks, we're the same people too. No layoffs, just some paid time off. Well, we're back at it with some important changes to help you master the art of quarantine. Like more inventory, express delivery, and plenty of cleaning. Enjoy your home. Take off your mask and relax. You're ready for the good stuff. Just click ormsfurniture.ca.
He's the type of person that when you met him, you liked him right away.
6 years ago, Jackie Critani's 24-year-old brother Chris was killed by a drunk driver.
He was my brother. I loved him. He was so close to me, and I remember standing at his grave, and I remember standing there and looking down at his coffin and saying to my husband, I thought I'd be dancing at his wedding one day, and here I am standing at the foot of his grave.
Something to think about from Mad Canada and this station.
So there I am, driving home in winter. Well, other cars are like slipping and sliding. But luckily, I adulted hard and switched to my winter tires early. And when I told my dad that, he was like, because you are an adult. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And he's like, yo-ho. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And he's like,
Put the chill back into winter driving by switching to winter tires early at Ford Service. Beat the rush and book your appointment today.
Hot tip for what to do this fall. Play. Pure Water is your expert source for all things game room. Pool tables, check. Darts, you bet. Air hockey and foosball? Yes, sir. A goofy bell? Yep. Pure Water has all the gear to keep mom, dad, and the kids happy indoors this fall, and they can deliver and set it up. Pure Water Total Home Leisure. 2070 Robertson and Moody and Bell's Corners. You, your family, and fun is what we do.
People said this team was built for the future. But hey, why not now?
Walk it off twice in 3 days?
Why not?
Dance like nobody's watching. Celebrate like nobody's listening. Hey,
Why not?
10 runs in an inning.
Daddy dances, clears the bases.
Cover some fields at the deadline. You're the Blue Jays, you're staying. Why not now? The Jays on a postseason run? It's 2020. Anything can happen. And where's the one place it all happens? Sportsnet. Sportsnet.
Alpine Credit.
I would like a debt consolidation loan. Great. Do you own your home? Yes, indeed, I do. Approved. Don't you want to ask what I do for a living? Nope. You will ask. Why won't you ask?
Alpine Credit, where homeowners get approved, and your job doesn't matter even if it's a fancy one, but good for you if it is. Some conditions apply. Alpine Credit, district license 12616.
Call back on the Rob Snow Show. The phone lines are open at 613-750-1310.
Did you use the word smart? The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. Number one. You agree with Bernie Sanders far left on the manifesto. Manifesto, you socialize medicine. Look, I want to make sure. He doesn't know how to do that. He has, wrong guy, the wrong night, at the wrong time. So they want to take it. Number two. Number two. Do you have any idea what it is? How do you do? Socialized medicine. Mr. President, you ordered a plane. He has done a single thing. But probably does. Gentlemen, you realize that you're both speaking at the same time. That's the president. Gentlemen, I think we have ended the segment. We're going to move on to the second segment. That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
What was the point of all of that? I mean, the headlines this morning pretty much tell you everything you need to know about that debate. And there's no need. Take it from me. If you didn't see it, don't go back and watch it. Don't put yourself through that. You don't even have to catch a highlight reel. David just played you the highlight reel. It was a show fest. It was a gong show. It was an insult to every American voter. Trump interrupting Biden, Biden interrupting Trump. They both ignored Chris Wallace. The topics, there's supposed to be 6 topics. Merely suggestions, ladies and gentlemen. The Blue Jays game was much more entertaining, even though they lost. Nails on a chalkboard would have been more pleasant to listen to for 90 minutes than that thing this morning. Some of the headlines this morning. Will you shut up, man? That's the big headline this morning. That was the Biden line. Will you shut up, man? And I mean, Biden, the insults. He called him a liar. He called him a clown. He called him a racist. Worst president. You're the worst president we've ever had. Yeah. So much for taking the high road. Some more headlines. Night exposes nation in decline. Nation in decline. That's the theme this morning. America is a nation in decline. Chaos reigns in hell debate. Insult to circus workers. Say circus workers. That's a good one, right? That's a good one. Okay, what'd you think of it? John, good morning, John.
Good morning. I think your initial assessment this morning was excellent, and I'm not sure if I can approve upon it. I live rurally, and I'm not blessed with unlimited high-speed internet, so I actually had to drive 5 miles into town and hop on Tim Hortons Wi-Fi to watch it.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I really wish I didn't.
Well, at least it wasn't your data, John. At least it wasn't your data.
I beg your pardon?
I said at least it wasn't your data.
That's right. That's right. I think I might have to watch it again to see if I can take any positive out of it. It wasn't a debate. It was a street fight in an alley. And it's very discouraging.
Yeah.
I have a way to fix it for the next time.
Okay.
Give Chris Wallace control of a cone of silence that he can lower over each candidate when it's not their turn to speak.
Yeah.
They had a lot of great subjects last night, and it would have been nice to have had a rational discussion about them. But that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. No. It's very disappointing. Very disappointing. Yeah. Okay.
Can I say a couple other things?
Yeah.
On an unrelated topic, because you had Vera Etches.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And I quite like her. I'd like to nominate her to replace Tam nationally.
Oh, Dr. Teresa Tam. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I missed the very beginning because I was watching a vaccine researcher on the upcoming vaccine situation.
Okay.
Did she share with you a Twitter from this morning?
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually told David about that. We laughed about that before we did our interview. Yeah. You know, that's the life of the chief medical officer of health these days, right? Young kids and trying to deal with what you're doing and get to work and yeah. Okay, thank you, John.
Can I bring up one other?
Okay, one other thing, sure.
I just wondered if you were aware that a month ago, the CDC put on its main website that only 6% of the COVID deaths were due only to COVID-19, to the coronavirus. That the other 94% of people who have died had an average of 2.6 comorbidities.
I'm not surprised to hear that. If you have cancer and dementia or something like this,
It's actually not a big risk factor.
Okay.
Heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes are the top 3.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But and let's work from the assumption that you have some of those comorbidities and then you're infected with COVID-19. It must exacerbate the condition.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
And one thing I don't understand is with all the people who have told us what to do, nobody has said to do your best to get as healthy as you can and boost your immune system. Right? Like if everybody made sure they're taking the maximum dosages of all their vitamins and minerals if they're not getting them through their diet, and their diet's another big thing.
Yeah. John, I don't want to get too far down that path because there are people who've been waiting and they want to talk about the debate as well. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap things up there. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your call this morning, David, out on the West End. David.
Good morning, Rob.
So what do you think of your guy last night? You Trump diehard.
Yes, I am, and your preamble set it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head when you were talking about those two guys.
Yeah.
If that's the best that America can come up with, imagine the trouble we're going to be in when it's our turn.
Oh.
And we put those people in power. That's exactly what we do.
So you're not even impressed with Trump and his performance last night?
I guess not. Who would be?
Okay.
I certainly
No, it's just that you're so loyal. You're so
Yes, I am.
Right?
I am a very loyal guy. I'm loyal to you.
Yes, you are, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and the gang that I have breakfast with feel the same way. But, I think Wallace, though, he showed his cards last night, too.
You really think Chris Wallace is like, I don't know, in the bag for the Democrats or part of the liberal mainstream media in the U.S. or something like that?
No, I don't think he's in the bag.
Okay.
But I think he leaned a little last night.
You think so?
I think so.
All right. Okay, fair enough. There's no wrong answers, really. We all want, people watch these things and we take away our own impressions, right?
But Rob,
yeah.
we really, really need the media to step it up.
Okay.
There's only you and who else?
Well, and you know what? If it comes down to just me, gosh, we're in a whole heap of trouble.
Well, there you are.
Okay, thank you, David. Thank you, sir. Yeah, okay, I'm surprised to hear that from David. He's, from day one, he's been a Trump fan. Look, I think what that debate really needed, to David's point, it needed a mute button. Chris needed a mute button, Chris Wallace. Look, I've been in, I will say, similar situations. I interview politicians all the time, panels of politicians, all the time. Not on a, grand national scale or anything. But there are times when the politicians don't listen to the host. And they scream and they yell at each other, and they talk over one another, and they pay you no attention. And you get to the point where what I do is I turn their microphones off. I said, your microphones are off and we're going to a break. Now, you couldn't have gone to a commercial break, but if you can turn the microphone off, it has been my experience that when you turn their microphones off, it is shock therapy for a politician. It really is, because they're not used to being silent. But when you turn their microphones off, they shut up and they behave themselves. We'll go a long way to curing some of the problems in the next debate, I think. Back right after the news. Rob Snow Show, Rogers TV at 1310 News.
For your information, 1310 News. Weekday mornings and afternoons. We've got more local news, more often.
Well, coming up, we're going to bring you the very latest from downtown, where thousands of people are protesting.
Our award-winning team keeps you up to date on everything you need to know.
1310's Chris Curry is downtown ahead of the march. Speakers are happening now. I will bring you more throughout the afternoon.
Plus traffic, weather, sports, business, and more.
Number one in Ottawa for local news. 1310 News.
Hey, it's Sandy. I'm with Jim Mahood of Gifford Car Insurance Group.
At Gifford Car, we're your representatives to the insurance company. We understand what the policy covers and what it doesn't cover.
You actually read the policy.
We know the policies. That's our job. You can ask us questions about the policies. Our job is to represent you to the insurance companies and let you know what coverages are in the policy that are relevant to your situation, because no two situations are exactly the same.
GiffordCar.ca.
I can't believe this weather. Perfect for a run.
Absolutely. Did you check our distance on your new Apple Watch from TSC?
Wow, personal best. Must be these new Skechers. They're so comfortable. Delivered right to my door and with Easy Pay. I shop my way.
And how's your new Bowflex elliptical?
Love it. That and my Bose headphones are my go-tos for home workouts.
Amazing. I got a KitchenAid bundle at tsc.ca. Which reminds me, I've got some bread in the oven.
Sounds delicious. Let's pick up the pace.
Today will surprise you. Shop tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Here's Allison Slecknick of the Waterford Retirement Community with an important message.
Thanks, Mark. Here we grow again, and I'm so excited to announce that we're in the final stretch of construction of our beautiful new location in Barhaven Town Center at the corner of Marketplace and Longfield, the Waterford Grand Retirement Residence and the Bristol Seniors Apartments. Check us out now online and learn about a special new offer for early bookings at the Grand, waterfordgrand.ca and the Bristol.ca.
Book your tour today. waterfordgrand.ca and the Bristol.ca.
Number one for breaking news. This is 1310 News, Ottawa.
It's Wednesday, September 30th. Good morning. I'm Andrew Boyle. Right now in Ottawa, some light rain, 11 degrees, and here's what's making news of this hour. Latest provincial COVID numbers just released. 625 more cases today from almost 36,000 completed tests. Now, 288 of these cases are in Toronto. Peel next with 97. Then around the Ottawa Health Unit, 64 new cases. So we are the top three areas of the province affected again today. Over 60% of these new cases, once again, are people under the age of 40. The province has set some new modeling numbers for COVID-19. Now, health officials say COVID cases in Ontario are doubling every 10 to 12 days. So if that current trend continues, will be at 1,000 cases a day by mid-October. If that happens, the province feels there will be up to 300 patients a day in hospital intensive care units. The Chief Medical Officer of Health for the province says it is critical we all follow COVID fighting measures like physical distancing and avoiding large gatherings. It's winter go home for the Blue Jays. Toronto trails 1-0 in a best-of-3 series. Game 2 is this afternoon against Tampa Bay in St. Petersburg. Blue Jays ace Hyunjin Ryu will get the start for Toronto. First pitch just after 4 this afternoon. You can hear that game right here on 1310 News. I'm Andrew Boyle. For more news, follow us on Twitter or OttawaMatters.com.